Hello and welcome to Wye and Why Not, the little village in Kent with the lovely little tickled trout right next to this waterway, which is right next to the railway station. We are going Wye and Crundale. It's a circular route. It's only about 8.5 miles, but already as soon as you get off the train you've got lovely historic Wye right at your tippy toes. It was pouring down just now and I nearly wrote the day off, but it's been on and off raining for a few days now, and I don't think it's going to get any better, so I figured let's just go for it. Now I'm actually just making my way to the start of this walk. And where have I got this walk from? Well, it was in a top 100 best walks, and since it's just down the road from me, I figured I'd have a little walk and show you what it's like. So we've just come up this street. It's a nice little place down there where you can grab a spot to eat, and this is where we start. In January 1557, 2 men of Kent, John Philpot of Tenterden, Thomas Stevens of Bindon, were burnt at the stake for their faith. That's probably worth a little investigation in itself, but here we go, the start. Let's press start on our watch. And off we go, starting off at the Church of St Gregory and St Martin. So you start off by going straight through the churchyard, and in the corner of the churchyard there's a tiny little path goes down beside a hedgerow. At the end of that hedgerow, follow the track around to the right, cross over the road and up past Wye School, I think it is, or college. Now a couple of years ago, this hedge all along here was cut back to the point of, well, I thought it was going to kill it, to be honest, but it's great to see how it's bounced back. It's apparently flourishing. I think the trail's going to be quite stodgy in places today, which seems like madness considering I'm filming this in 2022 when I had one of the hottest recorded years, and it's been very, very uncomfortable. And only the last week or so the rains have come. Thank God they've come, but it does mean that water's just kind of washing off of the land. But anyway, we're not here for that, we're here for the walk. And you can see here, if I just pause here a second, this ridge is what we're going to be walking along the top of. So I've only come a few yards into this field, and you can just make out, cut into the hill there, that is the crown, the Wye crown, and that was cut into the hillside there in 1902 to commemorate the coronation of Edward VII. I'm going to wheel around, and obviously we're going to be heading that way shortly, but if I just look back from where we've come from, Wye College is just down here. Okay, so it's really nice actually seeing all the trees, how wet they are. It does mean that it's a very humid environment at the moment. Oh, I nearly broke into David Bellamy then, David Bellamy. Whew. And if you haven't seen David Bellamy, I might leave a link. He's only uploaded twice, but I might put a little clip of him in now.
And this trail's taken me all the way across the country, from Dover to Weston-super-Mare. Why are you doing this, David? Well, I don't know. I just feel the need to go out there and enjoy the countryside, which is what I recommend that you do.
And that's why he doesn't upload that much. Just look to my right here and you can see the trail going up across the path there, but let's just take a second and appreciate this view. Just as the clouds roll across the hills there. Special. Whew. And after walking across the hills there, so we've just come up from here, you're straight into the woodlands where steep hill awaits you. There's a short rise out onto the pastures here. As you can probably see, it's started to rain. So we should, in theory, as the sun's out, see a rainbow somewhere. But you need to walk up onto the crest to be able to spot the turnstile or the kissing gate, whatever you want to call it, over here. But trust the path, albeit very faint, and you won't go far wrong. So even though we've come out the top of the hill there, it's just the sort of walk where you, there you go, there's the rainbow in the valley there. Hopefully that's picked it up nice on the camera. Just go straight across there. That's awesome. Amazing. So even though I'm getting soaking wet, it's not a lot not to like there, is there? Look at that, awesome. I can't guarantee your efforts will be rewarded in the same way. I thought I'd give you a bird's eye view of what to expect and some shots of the lovely scenery here. I thought I'd tell you a little bit about Wye. I'll read straight from the Wikipedia. It says, Wye is a village in Kent, England, 5 miles from Ashford and 12 miles from Canterbury. It's the main settlement in the civil parish of Wye with Hinkshill. Hop varieties, including Wye Challenger, were bred at Wye College. Population, roughly 2,500. The village's name comes from the Old English Wye, which is spelt with, I'll put it up on screen actually because I can't tell you what the E looks like. It's an E with a hat on, but anyway, meaning it means idol or shrine. Wye may have been used for worship by the pre-Christian Angles. Wye became an important communication centre because of a ford across the river Great Stour, connecting with an ancient trackway across the North Downs. Romans constructed a road between Canterbury and Hastings using the gap through the North Downs, and there have been suggestions Ollantay Road may have been built by the Romans as a separate route from Wye to Canterbury on the east of the River Stour. Remains of an ironworks on the west bank of the River Stour at Wye from that period have been found. By medieval times, Wye had a market and hosted the local 100 court. Now I didn't know what a 100 court was, so for those that don't know what a 100 court is, there's a Wikipedia entry on that as well, the 100. A 100 is an administrative division that is geographically part of a larger region. It was formerly used in England, Wales, some parts of the United States, Denmark, among other places, Sweden, Finland. Other terms of the 100 in English and other languages include all of the names on screen now. In Ireland, a similar subdivision of counties is referred to as a barony, and a 100 is a subdivision of a particularly large townland. Most townlands are not divided into hundreds. In South and Western England, a 100 was the division of a shire for military and judicial purposes under the common law. Until the introduction of districts by the Local Government Act in 1894, hundreds were the only widely used assessment unit, intermediate in size between the parish with its various administrative functions and the county with its formal ceremonial functions. The term hundred is first recorded in laws of Edmund I as a measure of land and the area served by a hundred court. In the Midlands, they often covered an area of about 100 hides. So what is a hide? The hide was an English unit of land measurement originally intended to represent the amount of land sufficient to support a household. It was traditionally taken to be 120 acres, that's 49 hectares, but was in fact a measure of value and tax assessment, including obligations for food rent, maintenance and repair of bridges and fortifications. Following the Norman conquest of England, the hidage assessments were recorded in the Domesday Book of 1086, and there was a tendency for land producing £1 of income per year to be assessed at one hide. The Norman kings continued to use the unit for their tax assessments until the end of the 12th century. So there we go. I think we went down a little bit of a rabbit hole there, didn't we? But as you can see, there's plenty of history in Wye. We've come up onto the ridge, and now it's a walk pretty much straight through woodlands, which is just as well because the heavens have opened again once again. I've had my wet weather gear on, but I've removed it because frankly I was getting wetter because I was sweating in it. It's still quite warm today, so yeah, I've done without it for now, and the canopy cover is the canopy's giving me good cover, so not to worry. Now, one thing that did happen just now was a almighty bang, followed by a very large chunk of tree falling, and that just goes to show that the deadfall can be a killer. So I'm keeping one eye in the sky at the moment and above me, keeping alert. If I hear a crack nearby, well, it wasn't even a crack, it was, I've never heard a branch snap off like that before, but it was I would say probably about a foot across. It was a very chunky tree, just snapped in half. Some of these trees are reaching end of life, so the deadfall is a clear and present danger. Okay, as you might be able to see, it is now raining very heavy, and if you can't see, maybe you can see by my glasses. So I've taken refuge underneath this tree, and just going to see if it passes, which I'm sure it will, but for the moment rain has stopped play. Well, it's 10 minutes later. I'm still wet, but as you can see, the sun's out, so I'm just going to accept that it's going to be a day of showers and I'm going to get wet. There's definitely some very mischievous looking clouds coming over, so I think I might seek refuge somewhere again. Now then, I'm having trouble keeping the lens clean because of the rain, but I did want to take the drone up and show you the Devil's Kneading Trough. We're coming up to it, but what I would say is so far, hopefully I've given you a little taste of what this walk's like. It is very doable. You can turn up at Wye train station. It's got good connections to Ashford International. It's only one stop away from Ashford International. Check out the cloud formation over there. Look at that. Also, I was reading that Wye is this is a nature reserve, and they've got kestrel. Not saying that's a kestrel, by the way, if you can see that, but they've got kestrel and wild orchids up here. So it's, I've definitely seen the kestrel, or at least one kestrel today. It scared the bejesus out of me, because I scared the bejesus out of it. But look at those views, come on. You can, I would say this is a full day's walk. You know, you can make a good day of it, because you can not only go and appreciate the walk and the views, bring a picnic, go and have a look around Wye, the little village of Wye, because why not? It's just great. What a lovely day. Even with the rain and the wind, absolutely stunning. We're quite near the end now of the walk, and if you do it round this way, this is the delight that you end up seeing. So this is, you know, what you've worked so hard for. So the Wye and Crundale circular walk gets a big old thumbs up from me, even in the rain and the wind. Check it out. Complete with moody wind and moody clouds. It's quite idyllic, isn't it? You got the, see if I can find it on screen. Got the farmer working down there, the distant bark of a dog, weather just rolling across the hills. We were out beyond here, and I thought we were going to go down that sort of way and then cut across the fields back to Wye, but luckily no, it comes back up and through, just crosses over a little road here and then round to here, and you've got glorious views. Hastings, this way. So Hastings is over there. We can see Winchester on a good day over there. Oxford is that way. York, really? York is that way. Surprises me. And if I come around the other side, Canterbury, this way. And Dover is over here. Altitude 170 meters. Nothing, is it? So this is the Wye Crown Millennium Stone. AD 2000. This stuff is incredibly slippy. Oh gosh. Just very quickly, this is all part of Greensands Way, or rather the stone that makes up Greensand Way comes through here as well. And you can see why now, can't you? Also deathly slippy. Really, really slippy. Oh dear, that was quite slippery as well. So thank you very much for joining me on the Wye and Crundale circular walk. I hope you enjoyed it, and it honestly is really worth your while if you make the effort just to come here. There's parking spaces if you want to drive, but I would say get the train. might as well get the train, which is right next to the start of the walk. So we came up here and went across this field, all across here, up into the corner over there, and then walked up by that communication tower. From there, all across the back over there, across the top of the hills, and then over that way somewhere, back around and back through here. Well done you for joining me. You're a legend. Thanks very much for watching. A subscription, have I earned a subscription? It'd be awesome if I have. It'd be really great. It really drives me forward to do these videos. And if you don't like the video, let me know why. But if you do like it, give us a thumbs up, maybe a subscription, share it with your friends, and yeah, I'll try and make some more and hopefully bring you some more of those 100 outstanding walks. But if you've got an idea for a walk that might be good on this this channel, let me pop you over this way so that you've got something to look at. Yeah, if you've got something, a walk that you think might be good for me to put on the channel, then let me know again in the comments below. But yeah, I've been showered on, it's been sunny, I've had 5 different hairdos, and now it's time to go home. Thanks very much, people. See you soon. Bye.